It's so hard to say goodbye to Seth Rollins.
I think my dick just went straight up.
Sorry,
Look,
I
people,
tried
look.
really hard not to laugh. That was
I
beautiful,
know,
Brandon. That was beautiful.
I know, folks. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened.
Don't
And
cry
unless
for
you've
him.
been,
He's Argentina.
and unless you've been living under a rock or in some sort of Chilean mine shaft, you probably have
Chilan? Chilan? Don't
you've
you
probably, you've probably
Chilan?
got
Oh my god. Chilan. That's my new fucking phrase. Chilan. Sorry.
You've probably got the notification via your WWE app that Seth Rollins' injury is much more serious than we had originally thought when we recorded this podcast.
On Wednesday, yes.
Wednesday. And, well, Thursday happened.
Can I just quote
yeah.
Biff from Back to the Future 2? There's
Yes,
something very familiar about all of this.
Oh, it's all too familiar. But we'll discuss all. This is pretty much all we're going to talk about the entire show is Seth Rollins' injury and what it means, because this basically has thrown the entire company into a state of flux. So before we get into all that, let's give the introductions right after the way. Obviously, you've heard his lovely dulcet tones. He's back for this very special edition of the Slamcast, Mr. Michael Burhan. How are you, sir?
Hi, folks. I'm here as my sexy self doing sexy things.
Try to sound a little bit more pumped, by the way. Like, oh, I'm here.
Well, try not to sound too pumped. This is also
I'm exhausted after basically working an entire huge shift at the moment. I do, at the moment, to kind of tie by part-time as a delivery courier person. So,
hey man,
I'm
you
always on my bike.
got to work them jobs, man. Do the job whenever you can.
I do the jobs, man. I'm marking out.
He's doing all
Anyway,
kinds.
welcome back. Welcome back.
You're our very own jobber. Welcome back. Joining us as always, the Bristol Brawler. I call him that way. That name is totally sticking. I'm going to call him that as long as I remember. Mr. Dave Wade. Dave, how you doing?
I'm not bad. I have to say I quite like that, and I did tell a few people after the cast that no one's going to hear that doesn't exist anymore.
Well, I'm sure we might release it as like a special episode to like contrast and compare to see how far off we were, and we'll see. It might see the light of day one day, but it's certainly no longer relevant to be uploaded in this time frame because it's again.
The irony is when Nick said we're going to do this again to me in a message, and then I was like, why? Because I hadn't watched the network that day or seen any news, and then he said what happened. I just went, God damn it, you son of a bitch! Not Nick.
We had such a good podcast. I was so proud of the episode, and then Thursday happened, and I get onto
I'm sitting at work. I'm eating my lunch. And as I'm sitting there eating my spicy Hawaiian pizza covered in Serrano chilies,
nice,
which is hot as hell, like Becky Lynch saying Montana, hi-yo! Anyway, I see the tweet, I'm like, are you... Fuck!
Did you do the Eric Cartman and just go, oh, fuck, she's standing behind me?
That's pretty much everyone's reaction. That's my lovely executive producer.
Well, if we do ever release it, I know what we're going to call it. We're going to call it the alternative 1985 timeline.
The lost episode.
The second lost episode because
the
some
second
shit happened.
Lost episode 2. There you go. That's what we'll call it. But it happened.
And I send the link to Brandon, and it's like we're gonna re-record.
Yeah. Well, no. I think at that point in time, it's not.
Did he see it? Did he see it when he saw the tweet? Did you literally just say out, son of a bitch?
I actually got the news because I was in the shower, so I came out of the shower and the internet had already exploded with the news, and that's when as soon as I heard that, I got on the Nickel and I was just like, we have to go back.
Well, we get to it in this cast.
It
is a really big fucking deal.
It's a major deal. We'll just might as well get ready.
Yeah.
This cast is already turned into nothing but puns of Back to the Future. Sorry. We have to go back.
We have to go back.
We have to go. Peeping Tom. Sorry.
We have to go bareback.
Oh, we missed those creepy moments.
Oh yes, it's not a Burhan appearance unless he puts himself over or makes creepy sex jokes.
Thank you.
No problem. It's your part in the Slamcast drinking game. We're actually starting to come up with rules too. It's taking shape. But I when this first happened and we did the podcast, I watched the vine of the injury that was taken from the fans' perspective. And I admit it looked bad, but I didn't think it was that bad. I think it was I just thought it was a spot that goes wrong. That goes wrong, in once in every 100 matches, you see one of these things happen.
It looked like a twinge he could walk off.
Exactly. It looked like at most he would have to, like we said on the show, he would at worst miss the rest of the European tour, and just to keep him safe going into Survivor Series.
And it's funny because I think I actually said, are they going to, treat this seriously? Are they going to protect him because he's an asset? And we were all like, it's not that bad. And then it turned into this. So there's irony.
Yeah, we didn't think it was going to be that. We were just, probably was wishful thinking on our part because, here we are going into Survivor Series, one of the big marquee events. Seth Rollins is going to be defending the title against Roman Reigns. And we had this entire discussion about Roman and Cena and the way, wrestling sites cover wrestling, and now it's completely gone out the window because now Seth Rollins is going to be out upwards of 9 months.
I think that part of the podcast. Sorry, Burhan. I think that part
of the first time that we've actually seen something that we don't know what's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Everything's up in the air. We don't know. Before, I think people kind of had a concrete idea that Reigns was going to probably take the title.
Now, I think that was debatable. That is highly debatable.
Debating that, there was that, and also Ambrose turning heel.
You just totally sound like Peter Griffin's alter ego there when you went. Yeah.
I had soda in my mouth.
So yeah, you're saying?
No, I think, there were a lot of people that didn't think that this was going to be so serious. What mostly took me surprise by this whole thing was how quickly and decisively they acted. Because usually these kind of injuries, they take a little bit of time to diagnose and assess and maybe get a second or third opinion on what the proper course of action should be. This then shows that it was truly a lot more serious injury than we had initially thought. If they have to take the title off of Seth immediately, they can't even bother to wait any longer, that they just have to do it now.
It brings up something interesting, though, which is, it clearly seems right now, because of this, that they didn't actually, and you would think a corporation like this would have it, but they don't. It seems they didn't actually have a contingency plan.
No, there was no.
They never do. The WWE never has a contingency plan for anything.
I would think they would, though. Because,
they have a set path that they want to go in terms of creative, but they never have different directions that they kind of segue into.
Oh no, but what I'm saying is, for such a physical sport, that it's a given at some point someone will get injured, and they've done this for years, and they don't have a backup plan. That boggles the mind, really.
I think there's maybe in the back of Vince McMahon's head there is a backup plan or several backup plans he would consider going to, but there was nothing like, this is definitive plan B, this is what we're doing with.
When this became this serious, that there were a bunch of people at the top of the company in the offices who write all the shit scrambling around nervously, which is
I'm kind of excited.
It's interesting. It's certainly going to be an interesting time, and we like the big issue was ratings with a lot of wrestling fans. If we're going to see definitely a rating spike now because of this episode of Monday Night Raw, that's for sure.
It's like Burhan says, though. It does make it exciting because having their hand forced like this, with a company this big, means whatever they do, they're going to have to try and match it in scale. So it is going to be a very interesting time to see what they pull out of their hat, if you will.
Well, me and Brandon were discussing this
I think
previously.
I think everybody wants to, or at least some people want to see.
Deadly, yeah. John Weston basically said it on the show that he wanted WWE, you're playing a deadly game, and it's one of those things that you come out with and think it makes sense. That was the last time, in my opinion, that you wouldn't know what the WWE would be doing.
That was in the period of, dare I even say, the period of the screw job, or the screwy finish. So, you know.
So
there's another mindfuck
off.
in here, which is whoever they choose to plug this hole and plug an event. Is that person going to walk away satisfied, or just going to think I'm only here because this happened?
Well, they're in a very unique position, right? Because of the fact that they could use this to elevate someone new to the top spot, or they could call John Cena in.
Please, God, no! Please, no! Fucking no!
I agree with everything Nick says, just less extreme. He said I am absolutely on Team Burhan with now is the time to build somebody up. I don't know if it's the time to build Roman Reigns, because I think it's obvious.
But you know what I'm saying though, don't you? Which is whoever they try and promote now because of this. Is it going to leave a sour taste in their mouth? Which is, am I here on merit, or am I here simply because this happened?
I think it's going to leave a sour taste in any fans, no matter who they pick. Like, no matter who wins this tournament that they're doing, there's going to be a certain portion of the wrestling fan base that goes indiscriminately crazy, kind of like the Arab world. But
that's my Burhan's lap, by the way.
now is not. I don't know. Now is the time to pull that trigger on Roman Reigns.
Oh no! WWE doesn't need to panic here and all of a sudden trying to force the belt on Roman, and it's going to backfire again.
Yeah, I think they need
you can still build him, but you need an interim, champion to hold it.
You're not an interim champion. You need an interim heel to do that.
It needs to be. The thing about it is, the one thing that kind of pissed me off about the whole reality era thing, the Authority has never cemented themselves as a heel faction. At first they did, but then they've just gone all tweener.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is I think people.
It's what's convenient for us this week.
Yes. It's also Triple H. People are going to. Triple H has inherent fans that are just going to cheer him, no matter what he does.
It's not just that as well, though. There's loads of other little cogs in this position. What they need is. In my because I was having this conversation, I believe it was on our group forums, facebook.com/forums wrestling MMA Revolution. If you guys want to go down there, check it out. And we were basically had this topic discussing. I believe it was Leslie A. Joy who actually said about Vince how she doesn't believe that Vince is kind of the main booker of the company in a sense, that they have shareholders and all the other razzmatazz, which, in my opinion, it's kind of a different animal. And I also talked about how organically you have basically like John Cena. He got over on his own before the WWE machine got behind him. Then you had Austin who got over on his own before the WWE machine got behind him. So you had all these guys who got over on their own. Even Hulk Hogan, the kind of the precursor to
racist
all that we've seen now.
motherfucker. Sorry.
He got over on his own before the WWE kind of brought him in to be the face of the company. Vince knew he was white hot. Vince knew exactly what he was gonna do with Hogan. And the problem with Reigns is, and I know people are like, oh, Reigns is amazing, but the factoid here is Reigns hasn't organically gotten over with the fans. This is why people hate him so much.
I think he's getting there. He clearly
he's getting there, but
he's making a way to go out of his way to interact with the crowd. I think that was a lot of people's biggest problem with him. He came through the crowd, but he did not at all acknowledge their presence. He might as well have just came down the.
But it was also the fact they were giving him John Cena promos.
Yes, and then once I think they put him with Ambrose, and they did this kind of bromance angle that they kind of had going on. It certainly helped him get over with the fans. And they're warming up to him. You see during his matches, they're not booing during his matches. They're generally cheering him during his matches.
No, yeah, he's.
And if you saw the match that he had with Bray Wyatt in the Hell in the Cell, I mean, there is not much more he could have done in that ring to get over with.
Outside of chucking himself off the top of the motherfucker.
Or outside of chucking Bray Wyatt off the top of that motherfucker. I think if anybody who is going to take bumps off the top of the cage that they have to stop, it's Bray Wyatt.
The thing is, though, when we're going into this scenario, he's not ready. And the reason why he's not ready is he needs a good foil to bounce off of. He needs a good heel to bounce off of. And now that Rollins is out of the picture, we need to have that bit of
They
magic.
need to
I don't mind.
establish somebody really quickly.
Yeah,
I don't agree with you that
it's to the end of the tournament. I don't really mind that, but he needs to be at that point where he's nearly there. He could taste his position of being the number one guy, and it gets ripped away from him.
See, that's where I agree and disagree with you, because I disagree with you in the assessment that he's not ready, because I think he is ready. I just disagree with you with that now being the right time to do so.
Yeah, the thing is, as I said, I think when they pull the trigger, they need to pull the trigger on a heel, a new big face of the company heel that they have who's best for business. A lot of people from the wrestling MMA forums are saying, let's Kevin Owens be that guy. I'm kind of on your wavelength where I feel that he shouldn't.
He would be great. He would be great in that role, and I think he
Yes.
absolutely fits the profile of being the corporate champion, of being somebody that they can mold and just be this, whatever, and then come out and beat the shit out of whoever he's in.
It comes down to a little chestnut, doesn't it? Which is you're only as credible. A company can promote you and make you a high flyer, but you're only as credible as the people you fight, and can't see anyone that's going to work with him right now. That's just me.
The thing is, Owens would be that guy because one, he's got that veteran experience. Two, he has all the tools to be the man. In a sense,
you said tool, sorry.
The heel man of the company. The problem being is he's the current Intercontinental Champion, which means there's either two ways they could do
he's
it.
more valuable. I think he's more valuable in that capacity than he would be as the
I agree, because he's got to prove that he deserves to be in that position, and there's no better way to do so.
No, he doesn't even have to prove himself. Triple H just has to give him okay, this is the guy that we're Seth is out. Seth was our guy. This is the guy we're going with in the meantime. And I think everybody else, fan-wise and in the locker room, would probably fall right behind in line with that. But I just think Kevin Owens is a lot more valuable in his role as Intercontinental Champion. Maybe if you give him both, I would love to see Kevin Owens as the WWE Champion. I would. That would just.
Could you imagine
the amount of butt hurt that some people I know.
Oh god, that's your alternative 1985 right there. Like you said, the amount of butt hurt that would produce would be like.
Oh,
people you don't even know like wrestling. I can imagine people be standing at a bus stop and someone be chewing it out.
Yeah.
Can you believe that shit?
That's the thing. Owens would be the logical choice, but at the moment, I don't think that they would put him in that position yet. And part of the reason is he still has.
Okay, sorry. Take anything and then I'll.
He still has detractors, like guys who will go to Vince and say, "Yeah, the people who will basically go to Vince and say, he's not, that he's not the guy." Which is what we've been hearing rumors backstage that people have been doing in terms of politicking to try and keep him away from that spot.
Oh, yeah, because I know there are people that have vested interest in these NXT call-ups failing.
Yeah, which I think, is counterproductive in my opinion. It's the reason why we haven't got a new breakout star yet, because they're not allowing people to shine the way that they used to in the act.
Don't get me wrong, NXT's brilliant, but they're kind of to some degree protecting their product, and not
which
allowing
is
people
something they kind of need to kind of back away from a little bit and say, hey, give it a chance. The thing with this would be Owens would be the logical choice. My opinion, I still believe Ambrose turning and becoming the corporate champion would shock everybody.
It would shock everybody.
But I do like the idea of Cesaro as well.
Again, these are guys that would just completely out of left field. Also, that would be serviceable to help Roman Reigns get over as the number one face.
I did laugh when Curtis Axel goes that he could be the guy. I was just like, yeah. No.
Curtis Axel could be the guy, and
often imitated, never eliminated.
I had this discussion with Leslie. She was talking about ages of superstars. The window for Curtis Axel is closing. So if he's going to make an impact, It's now, and yeah, absolutely, he's shown that he could be somebody that people could get behind. I'm gonna throw this one out there, and he is a newcomer to the scene, and since it really kind of seems like anybody and everything is up for grabs at this point, because this throws the whole card and the whole Survivor Series build and WrestleMania build now into
Total flux, yeah.
total disarray, downright flaming tire fire.
hmm
Tyler Breeze.
No.
No, you don't think too soon? Coming up from NXT, just giving that belt like this is gonna be our guy. He's the future.
Yeah, you know how they feel about NXT guys.
It's Triple H. Triple H. That's Triple H's guys. You don't think?
Yeah,
he
but
gets
remember, this is the main roster. It's Vince McMahon who ultimately gets the
I
decision here.
I think Triple H does have some say.
He does have some pull, but he doesn't have that much the pull to like.
I think he has a lot more pull when it comes to his NXT guys getting called up and how they're creatively booked, as opposed to just Cesaro, for example.
To me, if Triple H had that big of a pull, Cesaro would be your Intercontinental Champion. Kevin Owens would be your WWE Champion.
I'm not saying he does have that level, but I'm saying he has a little more pull when it comes to his NXT guys when they get called up, as opposed to anybody else on the roster.
But the thing is, when it comes to this, it leaves them in a bit of a tight spot as well, because Roman Reigns, they want him to be the big white meat babyface of the company. There is no one, literally nobody.
The tan skin, blue-eyed hope of the WWE, Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and that's the problem here. So they need to fill that void with someone they know can bounce off of him and work. And here's another person that could be totally left field when we haven't talked about him, Bray Wyatt.
I think Bray's the only person protected, or his creative is the only thing protected going into the SummerSlam build. I think having him going up against Kane and the Undertaker, and what we called in the last show Team Elaborate Entrance, potentially Sting and somebody else. We'll see who else. Team Elaborate Entrance. That's the only thing that's really, I think, safe. Bray Wyatt.
He could work twice.
He could work twice, but he would actually, on this night, would have to work 4 times, because I think if the way this tournament is going to take place, it's going to take place at Survivor Series. That's the wording of the social media press release. Tournament to take place at Survivor Series, to determine WWE, the next new WWE champion. So whoever is going to be in this tournament is going to have to work 3 times in one night at least.
So, and that's another thing as well. Yeah, they're gonna need workers. You can't have generics in this.
These are gonna people. That's what I'm saying. We're gonna see if Roman Reigns is the guy that they want him to be. They let him go out and work 3 matches in one night, just to see if he can actually do it.
Test the metal.
I think there are guys that they know that could go out there and work 3 matches.
Ambrose
is one of them. Ambrose is probably another. Dolph Ziggler is.
But then there's an interesting thing with the injury, which made us do this podcast. But when you say that there are people out there who can work 3 gigs in the night, are they sitting on their shoulders right now and thinking possibly, look what happened, maybe we shouldn't go that route anymore?
Well, I think like I said, botches like that, and it's very nice that
you know what I mean, though, right? Which is
and I want to segue out and then back into it real quick. I think, like I said earlier on, those spots go wrong 1 in 100 times. And I don't want to break it down, but Burhan, you saw the same footage I saw. Did it look like Kane should have been taking the bump as soon as Rollins goes over?
Usually when they do it, he's supposed to follow through. So, like, when Rollins went over, he should have went, he
over with him.
Yeah, he should have went over with him at the same time.
Yeah.
Trying to get my words out here. Do forgive me. It is like 3:12 in the morning. But the problem was, it looked like he was hunched so far over that when Rollins sort of flipped over, with the impact of his legs hitting the floor, it kind of, tore.
Like Kane didn't feel like Seth had him all the way, but really Seth really doesn't even have to have him support him all that much, because as long as he back bumps off the top of that, he should be.
There was a lot of miscommunication there.
There was a lot of things went wrong with that spot, and like I said,
I can't believe he picked him up afterwards.
That's what I think. I think that's what made it. I think that's what might have made it worse. Seth's trying to overcompensate for Kane not taking the back bump on the way over. Like that's, I think, what may have exacerbated the situation. I think.
Yeah, and that's where the problem lay with Seth's situation, and I feel bad.
Do you blame it on the CrossFit? A lot of people. There was somebody. I'm not gonna maybe call him out on this. Bobby Sapphire called and said it's all that CrossFit he does, not giving him strength in his legs. Come on.
Okay, there's only one flaw in Seth Rollins, the fact that he's got a small winky.
Actually, some women actually wouldn't say that's a flaw. I'm not saying from experience, but
hey, there's plenty of room for him to
grow, not a shower.
Maybe it's all the CrossFit that's makes your winky small.
You should tie a little kettlebell to it and do little kettlebell stretches.
Allegedly, it might be the performance-enhancing drugs. Allegedly.
Kettlebell cock swings.
Oh, God.
Oh.
But that's the thing.
Hashtag kettlebell cock swings.
With me, in terms of Rollins as an athlete, I think Jim Ross said it himself. He was having an MVP year.
Absolutely. Seth Rollins was having a CM Punk level year.
Yeah.
That's what
with less complaining.
That's the real tragedy behind this, because.
But as I said, he was having the CM Punk level year, but with less complaining.
Absolutely, yeah, no.
Yeah.
That goes without saying. I was trying to not pay attention to your CM Punk jab.
Well, I'm sorry, but the dude does complain so fucking much. When he was, I've never heard someone complain so much about being WWE champion. Yeah, I get it. He was fucked over, but at the same level, I think Rollins really showed that he could take the ball and ran with it, and he was doing amazing, especially with the level of shitty talent they were giving him near the end. Him versus Kane, promo-wise, it was great. The matches were terrible, in my opinion.
He made the best out of a bad situation.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. I think he made something that would have been shitty and made it possible.
It could have been, put it this way, Seth Rollins versus Kane could have been a lot worse. He was able to mesh their two styles and put on a very compelling matchup, where at times you actually thought that Kane might actually get the win there, but he didn't. But yeah, talk about a guy who's having a just stellar breakout year that could carry him for the rest of his career.
Yeah. But the thing is, this is the thing.
Can Seth Rollins recover after missing, if he has to miss 9 months? And that means it could be at least a year before.
But this is the thing. I think it's going to be the fact that he is out for that long. You've got to see if he could come back from this, and I think it's going to give him a chance to come back from it.
We could see a Triple H John Cena level comeback, where just that moment when that music hits again and he's in his gear ready to do some damage. Will be the roof will go off whatever building out there, and I hope that's a.
The one thing I will say is there is one person that I do not want to see in the championship, other than Reigns, and that's Sheamus.
There's a lot of people I don't want to see.
Sheamus. And this is the thing, Sheamus, since coming back, he has been the blandest man on the planet. See Tyson reference there, and the reason being is he's coming with this freaking I'm a big bad motherfucker kind of gimmick.
He's a bully.
And it
The
really hasn't worked.
Bully gimmick version 2.0, basically.
Yeah, and it really hasn't worked. He's tried to be this big, like punishable heel, but it's not really done anything. You know, it hasn't allowed. He hasn't grown.
Here's the thing, though. I
It's
think
the
that
same
this. I think that this tag team that they seem to have with him and Barrett that's developing, that has some potential to go someplace. Eventually, the New Day are going to become so, popular, wildly over that they'll just go back to being faces again, and people will cheer it no matter what they do. So they're going to need heels to go up against, and at least until they use.
The thing. With anybody at the moment, you're looking at these kind of like situations.
There are pluses and minuses to almost everybody being.
Well, this is the thing. If you look at Roman Reigns and you look at the problem with Roman Reigns at the moment, you can look at Sheamus. Sheamus is exactly what they tried to do with Roman Reigns, but it backfired twice.
Terribly backfired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's also, and I will say this, he's also the reason why Daniel Bryan ended up with a concussion. And they gave him the money back to contract. And the problem is, especially with a lot of guys with the MITB case, they become less relevant. But Sheamus has become really, really irrelevant to the point where he seems like a lower card guy teetering.
You're saying he's a contradiction in terms?
Yeah, he's basically. I don't know how they've done it, and I don't think it's his fault. I will point this out. I think Sheamus, as a worker,
it's called sandowing when a guy wins the money in a contract and does not get a bump.
He's decent. He's a decent worker. He's one of those guys that you could sit there and go, okay, he's an upper mid carder at best. And
he should be an upper mid carder, but the way the fans react to him, even when he's a heel, they don't seem like they dislike him. They just seem like they're bored with him.
Yeah, and that's the problem, right?
They engage him only because they're bored.
But the
That's
problem
the "you look stupid" chant.
The problem with his character, he's someone who's in a sense, when he first got injured, he was like a mid-carder. He had that whole mid-carder feel to him. And he was comedic, and he was at least entertaining. When he came back, they booked him really strong, and then he just went to the point where he receives X-Pac like heat every time he comes in the ring.
I wouldn't call it that. But there's, like I said, there's definitely more a hint of boredom than actual fear or malice with him. Like, it's just like, we're bored of this. We don't like seeing him. It's not quite the audible groan that happens anytime the Big Show comes out. Like,
yeah.
Anytime you hear, yeah, it's the Big Show, you can literally just hear people go, oh, for fuck's sake.
The problem is,
I think Nick's sigh says it all.
I've said this about Vince, and I've said it from time and time again. He's a man of one idea. He got famous from one idea, right?
He's a man of one idea. I am right in everything I do.
Hogan, but it's not that. It's America.
Absolute certitude in his own belief.
Yeah,
that's why.
America versus everyone else.
America, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every person that's done that, and the thing about it is, he's attached this idea to someone as soon as they've got themselves over. The problem being is he's so confident in his own ideas that he doesn't allow people to get over. Case in point, Zack Ryder. Case in point, Damien Sandow. Case in point, you've got a litany of guys in the roster who haven't been able to get over. Now, the problem being is, it's not their fucking fault. It's creative's fault, and in the whole terminology here. And what they need to do with this one chance, is they need to take that. For me, if this was me and I was booking the show,
are you telling me Sheamus needs to have his lose it moment? His lose like his.
I think he will eventually have his lose it
8-mile moment.
He'll have his lose it moment, and I think Roman's gonna fucking destroy him. and send him
I
back.
think he could be one of the few people, like one of the only third person ever to cash in the Money in the Bank contract and lose.
He'd
Yeah,
be the
which-
third, yes.
To me,
Because Cena
I've
was the
always
first, which is shocking. Then you
Sandow.
had
always hated that
Sandow, and now
idea
it could be
well.
Irish Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah, I've always hated that idea of someone losing with the MITB case because it makes the case pointless. It's like you have.
It doesn't make the point. It doesn't make the case pointless. It just
Well-
shows you that it's not always a guaranteed thing.
It's
It's
not a
that's the
guarantee,
thing.
yes.
To me, I've always felt like whoever gets that case, they're always going to be the guy who's going to become the man, like Dolph Ziggler, for instance.
I think it should be okay. It's your chance to get that. Do something with this. Where it's not a title. Here's this briefcase. Do with it what you can. And in some guys, it becomes an albatross around their neck, like Damian Sandow, where he had to do something to change it to make it fit his character. Or
That wasn't a fucking albatross. That was a lead
No,
weight.
but that's the thing. I think Sandow should have been a world heavyweight champion because of holding that briefcase. They fucked him over a little bit on that, but
that's another podcast.
that's another podcast entirely.
Yes.
The thing that they need to do now is they've got to basically say, right, the gloves are off. Who's been performing the most consecutively well? Let's give this person a chance to be the big heel in the company because they need to fill that spot. That spot is bigger than the face role, in my opinion, because this person is going to be the person who sets up the white meat babyface. This is
So
the
that
person.
could be, if I'm gonna have to say it, it could be 3 people, and here's my top.
Okay, should we do a round robin and do a top 3?
Yes, if everybody wants to give at least 3 people, they can give as many people as they want. They can give 3, 4, 5, 10 people if they want. But here's the 3 people that I just say are the most
Should we do it like from you? Should we go from you, Nick, Dave, and then me?
Whatever. That works fine. So here's my 3. Kevin Owens, just because I think he would fit very well into that role, and if they're gonna pull the trigger, fine. He could put over Roman Reigns and make him look real strong. Number 2, Dean Ambrose, because the shock value of turning Dean Ambrose heel, the sacrifice, the gain that you would get by sacrificing Dean Ambrose's potential face world title run would far benefit what you would get for the heel Dean Ambrose.
And I think he's so good, you can always have that potential to turn him back eventually.
That's the number 2. Number 3, and somebody who I don't think we have mentioned, our Lord and Savior Brock Lesnar.
Sorry.
By the way, Brandon, side note, I love the meme you posted. If Cena wins, we invade with Putin.
Yes, that's.
Then they run into our Lord and Savior Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, well.
I think Putin is even crapping his shorts if Brock Lesnar goes near him. I'll tell you that now. Brock Lesnar is our savior from any world problem. If you need to negotiate with a country that's not cooperating, just send Lesnar.
Send in Lesnar.
Send Lesnar in his due.
I think giving Lesnar the title again, it will accomplish 2 things. Gives them someone strong to put Roman Reigns over for where that inevitably happened, if that's still in fact the plan. And 2, who else?
But also, it makes things up a bit as well.
No, but again, it gives you the
but
thing
do
is.
you get the same problem
fourth
as last year, though?
But it kind of contaminates the House of Ideas because, in my opinion, it's been done. By doing it again, you're just repeating yourselves. Twice in a lifetime.
No guarantee
you're
not going to get.
Lifetime.
I'm still thinking thrice in a lifetime is still.
I can see it.
So I'm going to throw out a 4th person too, and this is maybe just like speculative pipe dreaming. Daniel Bryan heel turn, because you'd expect
not going to happen.
Daniel Bryan. No, here, feel me out. Like, you want to talk about the deadly game thing? It would be Daniel Bryan would be a complete surprise, like The Rock was. Like, no one was expecting The Rock to be in the finals of the tournament. They expected, maybe he was going to have a good showing semifinals, but in '97, no one was thinking The Rock. Or sorry, 98 rather. 98, no one was thinking The Rock was going to be that guy. And there it is. They just did that quick heel turn. Again, if Daniel Bryan comes back, everyone's like, oh, God, he's going to do it. But if Daniel Bryan wins the WWE title with Triple H's backing, Can you imagine what people would lose their mind? They would start the no chant. There would be 16,000 people in the Phillips Arena in Atlanta losing their collective mind.
Can you bet?
I
Can you
think
bet
it would
on
be awesome
professional
if they did
wrestling
that.
in the States? By the way,
Not in the States, but I'm pretty sure you could bet on.
the only reason I say that was what you just said would be awesome, because if it did happen, there'd be like a bunch of people really butthurt and a group of people who called it and just be like, "Yep, I'm going to retire right now."
Hogan NWO-esque moment.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's you would, for a generation of fans that have grown up with Daniel Bryan as their, not really grown up, but come up with Daniel Bryan as their like inspirational leader, and this talisman for the John Cena principles: never give up, hustle, loyalty, respect. For him to just turn their back on him, you would get tons of crying children, an entire arena of somewhat grown men that would be disenfranchised by it, chanting "No, no, no," and then you get the people like me just laughing their ass off at the whole thing.
I
You know
hope the
what could
irony's
be-
not
you know
wasted
what
on
would be
you
great as
children.
well? Is if Brian came out all clean shaven and everything afterwards, and then cut a promo.
The next day on Raw,
Yeah,
he wins
that
the
he would-
title. He wins the title with the beard and all that other stuff, but if he or he comes in the Raw the next day, man bunned and like beard kind of trimmed down a little bit. I don't think he's ever shaving that beard. I think it's just become.
Well, and also,
I
you
don't
can
know,
have,
maybe Bree
Well,
likes
it's
it too
like
much.
Samson. If he shaves it, he loses his power.
well, you could also have him basically turn his back on the fans, like literally turn his back on them.
Yeah, no, that would be again.
It's like I didn't turn you turned your back
They
on
do
me,
that,
so now
they
I'm turning my
do
back
that.
on you.
They do that, and they don't have to sacrifice Dean Ambrose being a face, because I think Dean Ambrose as a face is something that they're highly invested in, or at least they should be, because there's a lot of people here.
So I think you know what? I think you're winning me around. Like, yeah.
But you know what they would
I can
need to
see
do
it.
as well to book it? They would need to make sure that he doesn't explain why. Not yet.
No, I mean, I think they would have to. It would be painfully obvious why he wanted a chance at the WWE title, and that was the only way he could do it. And I said, well,
No, but this is the thing. You don't have him explain it. The thing, I always feel that the greatest thing to do is when a face turns, you have them, if not saying anything, not explaining themselves, right, is a big thing, And when
Yeah, but there's
you
kind
have-
of, but that
or just
isn't
not
that
have to justify himself to
Yeah. But eventually he will justify himself.
Yeah, but
But-
isn't that part of the
but
attraction
he's not
of
going to
someone
get
like that?
released.
Which is they don't,
It leaves the
necessarily
air of mystery, though, Dave. It leaves the air of mystery. And what you do to solidify him, you have him. Like, what I would do is I'd have him win the title at the end. He's holding the championship up, going, yes, yes, the fans are, like, hugging him. Then Triple H comes in the ring, and they hug. Kind of Austin McMahon-esque. People would just be like, what the fuck? And then, like, Stephanie comes in, and he hugs Stephanie, and
they start making out.
you just basically, yeah, and people will just be like, "What the fuck?" And then Brian's face changes, to the point people.
I
he
think
just
Triple H should walk into the ring, hold up some cream, and just go, "Got roids? I use this."
But you could even have it where shenanigans happen in the ring, right? Brian doesn't see what happened, and people just think, "Okay, it must have been it must have been an accident. Triple H did this. Brian didn't see it. Once Brian knows what's happened, he's going to be so pissed." And then have
So
them
don't
like,
even blow the heel turn on the pay-per-view in a sense. Just build the fuck to. I like that. And look, I said before that if the plan is that, you're going to have Daniel Bryan as the champion, you need to fucking do it, or you don't put him in this fucking tournament. Otherwise, the crowd will shit all
it's
over it
fucking
again.
teasing, isn't it?
No, I
basically?
agree. And this is the mistake they've made on one too many occasions, where Brian ended up in a situation where they shouldn't have put him in, and they blew their load, and then the fans turned. And this has happened twice. And people just like, oh, for fuck's sake. When you're the WWE, you don't seem to learn lessons very well. And I think, and I like that. And I'm going to go with what Brandon said there. My number one choice would be Brian. If they pulled the trigger and had, because he would automatically be catapulted as the guy. He could work with Reigns because he's done it before. and you know he could basically get it over. He would be able to get the storyline over. He's that good of a worker. He can do it. The second choice, and I hate to say this.
Are you selling your soul, Burhan?
My second choice would be Ambrose. Just for the fact that, again, another great worker who can get it over. Third choice, Cesaro. Just out the left field.
Nice.
Someone lingering the undercard.
Like that'd be like a thing like The Rock. You wouldn't really expect it coming. Like you expected him to do well in the tournament, but you don't expect him to be in the finals, and then to have him win.
And again, well, the great thing is have him play up the whole Cesaro section gimmick. Fans really behind him in the main event.
The groundswell is there for Cesaro. It's going to become, the Cesaro section is going to become like another Yes movement. Eventually, you'll see entire arenas with Cesaro section signs. Some ambitious wrestling fans are going to come to a wrestling show one day and have 17,000 Cesaro section signs and just start handing them out.
See, I'm totally with Mike's choice on that, because I think that would be, is a payoff for the crowd and stuff like that. Be absolutely fantastic.
And then also you have a foreign-born WWE champion. That's
exactly.
Which is a European WWE champion, which we haven't seen.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing is as well, he's got the talent, he's got the body. He's also a guy that could probably put on a clinic with Reigns. And what you do...
And he's technically, let's not forget that, he's technically on his game.
Yeah, and what you do is, instead of being the happy-go-lucky promo cutter that he usually is, have him play to, his strengths and not be be kind of the corporate guy. You have Triple H talking for him, you have Stephanie talking for him, and he cuts a few, a little promo, and then walks off, And again, you don't have him explain why he did it. You don't have that happen. You have it as a slow build, the way it works. In terms of another one, this one is totally out of my ass. I'm going to say this. Cody Rhodes.
You can fit a whole wrestler up your ass. That's impressive.
I'm pulling the idea out of my ass. Cody Rhodes.
Sorry.
Like Stardust, basically.
Soap on a rope, Mike.
Like Cesaro is out of left field. Stardust
I
is
can totally buy that.
Out.
I can totally buy Cesaro. I think that would be really good.
Right? You have him unmasked as like Stardust. You have him play up the whole Cody thing. The crowd goes behind him. You expect him not to win, not to come out and actually be this guy. And then he comes out. He does it. The fans are totally behind him. He goes all the way to the end of the tournament, and then aligns himself with Triple H and Steph. And people will be like, what the fuck? But it's still played to those heel characteristics of who he is.
I think I hate to like pigeonhole this pay-per-view, and that's like saying the only way it's ever going to get over, but I think that's the best way, the best possible outcome they suspect is a rehashing of this Deadly Game scenario where
it's
new corporate pick champion.
This is
heel finish.
The thing, it works. Have the Authority go full blown heel. That I hate the whole will they, won't they bullshit.
Have the
teasing, if you will, teasing.
Have Mike Chioda quit in the middle of the ring or something like that. Just like, I can't do this anymore. I quit.
Yeah, no, he'll just go, what the fuck, Or you have Triple H force him to ring the bell, and he's like, what are you doing? And then he awards the championship to their guy. But that's what I think it should be. It needs to be the corporate guy. It needs to be the guy that they look at it and think, like, for me, if Brian did that, I'd be sitting there looking at him like, you fucked me over. I thought it's like having your
people would be butthurt if Daniel Bryan did that. They'd be like,
you're
supposed to be all good. And they put
I fear change.
It would be Hogan-esque to the point where the fans would be like, what the fuck, But they need to do it where
throwing trash into the ring and...
Yeah, there has to be no explanation.
Yeah,
you can't come out the next night and explain why. It needs to be one of those things where they keep asking him, Daniel, Like, you could have a WWE.com video, like, one of the guys just come up to him, it's like, Daniel, you know, we need to know what's going on with you and the Authority, and he just looks at him and walks off.
Yeah.
And people
Sometimes
try to
silence says it all.
Yeah,
So Nick,
wrestlers go up to him and say, "Hey, Brian, you know what's going on? Why did you, you know, I used to look up to you, man." And he would just he would just look at the guy, walk off. You know,
Nick, who are some people that you would think would fit into this?
Owens, obviously, this guy's shown that he is
yes.
natural. It doesn't matter what he's doing, whether he's playing with the fans. You know, he's taking shots at people on Twitter, which is always hilarious. I mean, he just tweeted Byron Saxon, "My act of kindness is not blocking you for that stupid statement." You know, whether he's, you know, throwing the flowers out of the ring in Japan, whether he's about to do like a running drive-by kick and then he just drops it.
Those are the best too, by the way.
Yeah, like, I hate the stupid country and everyone, you know, things like that. You know, I would love.
Like, he gets the full steam, looks like he's gonna dive to the outside, and then he just slides out and smacks the guy in the face. Like,
but he also gets it, which is he understands that, you know, inflame, aggravate people, because that's what we're here for.
And don't be afraid to get heat. That's the thing. You know, and because, you know, this is a big NXT call-up, he hasn't even been in the company a fucking year. Think about that. He debuted in December.
You know, it's kind of the trend with Owens. No. It's kind of
the meteoric rise. It is certainly be.
He's one of those guys you can tell Triple H is. Yeah, it's like Triple H is all in. You know,
if they did this, how many people could really say they had 3 major singles titles in a 12-month span in the same company?
Bingo.
Wow, that's
3 completely different titles too. 2 months to the day, he wins the NXT title from Sami Zayn by powerbombing him into oblivion.
Exactly, but
he then goes and wins the Intercontinental title from Ryback, and then all of a sudden, boom! Seth Rollins gets hurt. Here comes the Kevin Owens pop-up powerbomb. Bam!
Kevin Owens to the rescue. Never did we ever think we'd actually be thinking of Kevin Steen, rescuer of the
steaming in on the cavalry.
Oh God!
I know.
Jesus and just Christ. To see, you know, Bucky Beaver's head just explode.
Yeah, exactly. 2 years ago, you could have told me we would have legitimate conversations where Kevin Owens would be considered as a viable. Yeah, Kevin Steen would be a viable candidate for the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
I would say, what are you smoking? Because give me some of it.
Yes, because I want some of that shit.
It was so far outside the realm of
possibility. Yes.
I heard that's good shit. Can I pass on?
Yeah, and look at where we're at now. Here we are. You know, we're going into 2016, and you know, Kevin Steen's a prominent part of WWE TV.
Yeah,
you know, we've had fucking how many indie guys have popped in fucking NXT? I mean, we just saw James Storm pop in, and
indie veteran.
Yes. LOL TNA. But as far as 2 other guys, I agree with you that the gain of a heel Dean Ambrose
is better
would far outweigh the negatives of him losing him as a face. And 3, if you, and again, don't put this guy in the tournament unless he's going to win it. And then you have pulled the entire swerve that he turns heel, Daniel Bryan. Perfect. Yeah, so Bryan, Owens, and Ambrose. And then as a 4th, Cesaro, because
Cesaro.
Yes.
Because
the guy can do uppercuts for days.
Yes. You get like I said, you get an uppercut. You get an uppercut. Everybody gets an uppercut.
It's all free, bitches.
Dave, you got anybody, or you're just gonna pretty much agree with everything we're saying? Because
I'm pretty much gonna agree with it, but I would like to say I agree with Burhan on this, which is Zinga it would change it, if that makes sense. You know, if he got that shot, and then everything else around him would have to change, and everyone else would have to adapt, and it would be a breath of fresh air. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with, you know, WWE right now, but when you do shit like that, it becomes a game changer, and everyone's deck changes, and it would be really, really, really cool. So I say him, and I say Owens. Do you know what? No, I'm just going to say, I'm going to be bold. I just say, give this bloke his fucking, florist and let him eat it, because I think it'd be really good for you. Like a big change in, a non-American, holding the title and shit like that be really, really, really good. And then, how should I put this? I like ripples, if that makes sense. I like ripples that change a sport or an event, and I think it'd be really, really good. So,
Yeah,
I agree with what Burhan said, which is if he did do it, then it would be a very interesting, couple of months of watching WWE.
yeah, but again, and
I know
the
he
only
won't.
way-
I know
well,
he
yeah.
won't, but I'm
But
just
the
saying.
only way WWE could fuck this up is if they put Daniel Bryan in the tournament and he doesn't win it. Because then, guess what? You get the Royal Rumble all over again.
And let's be
Yeah.
honest, they've done it before, so it's on the cards.
Yeah, man. Well, here's one thing that I think it's just before we kind of get ready to bring it home, because I think we've just debated this topic to death. We literally did like an hour on this topic. In this tournament that they could see, there is a realistic opportunity that we will see Kane in this. Literally 18 years after after being in the first Survivor Series WWE.
Can I know I'm late to the party, but can I be a fanboy on this? Because if that happens, oh my god, I'm not going to be able to sit down properly without adjusting my underwear. I'm going to have a woody over that. If it happens, I'm going to have a woody over that, because please let that happen, please. Fucking love Kane. Sorry. And then there was awkward silence.
Yeah.
And everyone looked at Lawn Boy and said, "You're retarded. Stop eating lead chips."
But it's in the end, there is an opportunity here to do something.
I'm just saying, I
Make
really would like to
WWE.
see that. What Brandon said, I would really love to see
But
that.
look,
Yeah,
as long as it isn't,
relevant again.
My headset.
anybody but
This is
Sheamus,
smart move.
Don't-
Yeah.
don't
If they put it on
default back to
Sheamus,
Cena.
there are going to be people doing this. Shop for Raw next night.
I'm going to make a cup of tea. I don't know have this in North America, but we have a phrase in this country when stuff dips in the middle. I'm going to go and make a cup of tea. I think I'll leave the room.
You've got basically like John Cena. People are just going to be like, Cena wins.
Oh, well.
Had to
The title of
re-record
Roman
because
Reigns,
Seth Rollins
people are
got
going to
hurt.
boo. You don't. As I said, he's not ready for that kind of role yet, because people are expecting it. If it was me, I would go left field and I would put it on someone who's never had the championship before, or, as we suggested, one of the few that we were talking about. And the reason being is it's so fucking far-fetched that it would surprise the fuck out of people.
Look, yeah, exactly. If you give it to those people, it makes it fresh. It's like a wake-up call for the rest of the industry and sport. And I think sometimes they should play it on the dangerous side. WWE. I think they play it too safe too many times, and I understand why, because they're a business. But put that person in there and give them a shot that no one expects to do anything, and it's fresh. It will trickle down through the whole company and be beneficial for not just the fans but the company. That's just my feelings.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to take an NXT star, because at the moment NXT, in terms of stars,
I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying it.
they
hypothetical.
just rebuild. They've
fairly-
taken too many people from there as it is.
Yeah, it's starting to
They
kind of
have to-
thin out a little bit.
Yeah, they need
I
to
mean-
rebuild it. Otherwise, you're going to just
Yeah,
have.
but you know what I'm saying.
match.
If we had our ideal world of what we wanted to see, I personally think that would be like a shaker maker. I can't believe I just said shaker maker. Oh my god, I sound like a Pepsi commercial from the fucking 80s. But do you know what I mean? I think that would be great. I think sometimes an industry needs a complete shot in the arm of something they've never dared to go towards before because they're scared, because they're a company. I think it would be brilliant. I think everyone would benefit. They may be surprised at the reaction of the fans, and it would propel the company, and the fans would fucking love it because you're doing something completely different. And we all like wrestling, but let's be honest, sometimes you just look at the lineups for matches, and you just think, tick the box, tick the box, tick the box, seen that. I want something else. So It's not going to happen, but in my ideal little wrestling world in my brain, I have one. I think it would be brilliant, like to completely play outside of left, if that makes sense.
It needs to go that way because their ratings are dipping. The company doesn't seem to have that relevance and the shot in the arm that it used to.
It's like I said before, man. It's in the pre-WrestleMania stasis.
It's not. I agree with you on the fact that it's not. It was never Rollins' fault.
Oh, absolutely not.
Isn't that a problem though? When it comes to WWE, that you have these these events,
the coasting.
Yeah, but then they just exactly like Burhan said, which is they coast and then they just go like our ratings are dipped, but that's right because WrestleMania will pick them up, and it's like no, shouldn't you be delivering that quality all along?
They won't, and the problem with them is they tend to not think about stuff like that, like the overall thing. They're like, oh, let's give Rollins a feud between these couple of pay-per-views.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand that WrestleMania, and I love WrestleMania. Now I have the network, thanks to you guys picking my pockets.
You're welcome.
I love WrestleMania. I understand that it's a big event, and therefore any event that you hold before WrestleMania is therefore considered, just natural nature of any sporting event with the individuals who watch it, which is, well, this isn't going to count because it's, WrestleMania's next month. But at the same time, I do feel, like Brian said, that WWE does coast a lot right now. And it's like, oh, well, that's all right, viewing figures will pick up when we get our next big event, and then we'll coast along, then we get WrestleMania. And it's like, no, there's no reason to do that.
But that's the thing, I agree with you on that. They need to focus on the overall, like, for back in the day, that's why I'm a fan of...
You can have what I'm trying to say is you can have a big fight, a month or so before WrestleMania. And that's why it won't affect people's opinions or, because they'll understand that, this is wrestling. This is what happens. Big fight, someone got a title, and you automatically accept that that's by the way when it goes to WrestleMania. But there's no reason to drop your game in the middle because almost to some degree you're insulting the people who pay for your fucking network.
For me, though, I'm an old school worker. I believe you need to kind of look at like a plan and have a plan for your main guys and push that forward and the feuds and what you're working with.
Well, what I'm trying to say, Mike, is it should be... oh, my God, I just called you Mike. Sorry. What I'm trying to say, Burhan, is it shouldn't be that everything that goes down that is of any importance that sticks and stays is at WrestleMania. It should be across the board.
Now, going on from that one, should we take it home, Mr. Host?
Sorry, my headset died, so I'm like talking into my microphone on my computer. That's why I sound a little weird. So yeah, let's bring it home. I got an Iron Sheik tweet of the week ready to go, and
awesome.
We're gonna do that. And
like
I said, it's kind of like a fun.
Sorry, Brandon. On the last time we tried to record this, I had a funny anecdote about trying to explain to someone at work who was the greatest Iranian ever, and
yes. Well, it will show up on the next one because like I said that episode what we did on Wednesday, the bit how we talked about how different sites cover wrestling news. I think that's a valid thing. We could get still content out of that, but that was half the show. The other half of the show now is no longer it's now
relevant.
Is now booty.
God damn you, professional athletes! You do nothing I could ever do in my life, getting injured.
All right,
so
ready?
All right. Happens.
Yeah, Iron Sheik tweet of the week.
Let's do it, Nick.
All right, I got it queued up.
Okay.
Fuck him! I talked to him! I wanna know, are you the man or are you a fucking piece of shit? No good motherfucker. Fucking bullshit!
Okay, well, if you are unfamiliar with this show, this is the part of the segment where we regale you with the comedic gems that come from the social media feed of the greatest living Iranian, the Iron Sheik. Shaky Baby was all over the place this month. If you want to see if you want to listen to what I'm sure will be an entertaining edition of Talk is Jericho, Shaky Baby himself is on this week's episode of Talk is Jericho. That is a must listen to. I haven't listened to it as of this time.
So it's mostly going to be cussing and Jericho.
Oh my God, it's going to be great. It's going to be great because if there's anybody who's going to goad Shaky Baby into anything soundbite worthy, it's going to be Jericho. So that's going to be something that's worth checking out. Also, as I'm reading Iron Sheik's Twitter feed, someone retweeted somebody who suggested something that now that it has been suggested, I don't want to live into a world where this doesn't exist. A WWE Network show hosted by the real Virgil and the Iron Sheik with all the nonsense those two talk. That would be a fun thing to watch. Yes, please, WWE Network. Please, WWE Network spies that are no doubt listening to this podcast.
Yes, please.
Please make that happen.
Yes, please
so,
pay Virgil the fuck money.
Yes.
Because he needs it.
Yes.
And throw some bones at a Shaky Baby and let him go on the network.
I think after he goes, I heard that a champion's injured. I'm going to get some money. I'm just like, yeah, no, Virgil.
But at this point in time, no. Virg knows he's gimmicking it up and he's playing that part perfectly. So based on that, I kind of have this one because literally the tweet that's written. A story that surfaced for my British friends that aren't aware of NFL news.
Can I do one tangent?
No, you can't do a tangent in the middle of the
Iron Sheik tweet of the week. Tangent.
No, but you can't do it right in the middle of the Iron Sheik tweet of the week. That's the gimmick. You're interrupting the gimmick.
It's actually a tangent on him. Now I'm going to forget it, you prick.
Don't worry about it because this is my thing.
Stop. If you're going to forget, then it's not relevant. Let's go.
Exactly. So there was a story that broke over this last few days over the photos of Cowboys defensive lineman Greg Hardy, who is noted accused domestic abuser, not sexual abuser, sorry. Body slammed his girlfriend on a couch filled with automatic weapons. Look it up, Google it. We're not going to go into it.
As you do, you know.
As one does, you know, when they're in an argument.
Yeah, nothing spells love than
slamming. Body slamming your significant other on a couch filled with automatic weapons. Nothing says love better than that. So those photos surface, and everybody and their mother has been chiming in on this. And the world's greatest living Iranian is not one to be shy on any topic of sports. He says, "Fuck the Greg Hardy. He never be the real like the intelligent Matt Hardy." And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your Iron Sheik tweet of the week.
Wait, did he just say Matt Hardy and intelligent?
Bullshit!
Yes, that's why I think it's worthy of Iron Sheik tweet of the week. He used the words Matt Hardy and intelligent in the same sentence.
It's like saying Eva Marie and skilled veteran in the same sentence.
And in ring generalship.
Or saying Kevin Dunn at proper dental work.
Oh, Kevin Dunn hate. Hashtag Kevin Dunn hate. There you go. Take a shot now.
Hashtag
So let's do some pluggity plug.
Can I say it now? Because behind the scenes, I was just looking on allegedly quotation fingers hooky websites. I've just found a compendium of Iron Sheik's tweets in book form.
Oh no!
And I may have just bought it.
Oh my God! Yes.
What?
That's why I tried to interrupt you because it was relevant.
Oh yes, I see. I did not know this.
Do you know what? I couldn't give a fuck that clearly, allegedly, you know, for copyright purposes, it's a bootleg. But I don't care because it's going to be the greatest. It's like the Chuck Norris book of things that you read and piss everyone else off in public transit. Oh, now I can do it with Iron Sheik. Oh my God. Oh, this is a great day in Dave's life.
First of all, a lot of them they would have to speak Shaky Baby. So there is a certain dialect difference.
I know what I'm going to do immediately. I have a car. I don't even do public transport. I'm going to take public transport when I get this book because they just accepted my offer and I got the receipt. I'm going to tap on the person in front of me, even if it's an old granny, and just go, by the way, can I read you Iron Sheik tweet of the week?
Are you a real or are you a no good motherfucker?
And you know what I'm going to do? When I shut the book, I'm going to go, fucking bullshit!
You're going to have to start humbling people the old country way?
I'm going to scan it. When I get this, I'm going to scan every fucking page in. Because I got a scanner. I'm going to flood the internet with this, our Lord and Saviour.
Good Lord.
Do like one Iron Sheik passage a week. and you should do it while dressed in robes and scarf on you, and saying,
I just got. Hang on. I just got the email back.
You're Reverend Dave from the Cult movie.
eBay might try to say that you're not allowed to buy this and you can opt out because it's not, a true product. Just ignore that and click yes.
Oh,
Oh yes. Only cost me £4.99. Bargain.
Glorious. All right, so let's do some plugs and get on the way.
you can find me in a tent.
I need a tent. Not making any videos.
That's the
Just-
greatest
Just
fucking
living in a tent.
soundbite ever.
If you happen to be wandering southeast London and see a tent, stop on
That's
by.
probably me. And if you see some dude walk out that tent and take a piss on the greenery, that's probably me.
I was going to ask that, by the way. Actually, no, I'll save it to afterwards. Never mind.
Yes,
Awesome.
please.
Awesome.
Yes, I do take a dump in the woods too, Dave.
Bristol Brawler, you're next.
Oh, you can find me on YouTube. I'm lost. I just can't get the
Longboys
picture.
Post
Mike.
1975, gents. Longboys Post 1975.
Sorry, Mike, taking a dump in the woods, dressed
The
as a
picture of
bear,
it.
is now stuck in my head.
The picture of it crowning and just going everywhere.
Anyway, yeah, you can find me on Longboys Post 1975 about your retro games, your pickups, your videos, your debates, discussions, and shit like that. Plus, also, Nick saw it, and I have to plug it again because I'm so impressed with myself. If you want to see the greatest way to capture something on camera for a gameplay that doesn't show up on anything else, look at my jury rig I made up in my last video. Seriously, it was fucking state of the art.
Oh, it's killer, man.
Nichols.
All right, I'm over on YouTube at the Gaming Pegasus 187. I'm on Facebook at Nick Horacek. I'm in the Wrestling Revolution MMA Facebook group. Again, I'm fucking fuck it.
Cool.
I'm over
speaking
on.
of, sorry, not to interrupt you in the middle of your plugs. Who you got in the fight this weekend, Belfort or Dan Henderson?
I'll take Dan Henderson in this one.
I think that's a pretty good bet. I think Henderson wants to go out on top, and it's a good way to send off at the end of his career.
Yep. Knock him out. Anyway, yeah, I'm over on Instagram, Xbox Live, Wii U, Pegasus 187. I'm playing a lot of WWE 2K16, a lot of Black Ops 3. I'm over on Twitch at Pegasus 187. I might be finishing the old Mega Man 2 stream because I want to move on to something else for Twitch. So.
And let's not forget, Nick, our new plan series, which is Dave and Nick talk bollocks about politics and piss the world off.
Oh yeah,
Basically, it just means Dave going on about how the Tories are the greatest things.
You basically
No, fuck you, Burhan. It's not about that. Our next one is going to be about how Congress strangleholded the current election and current president. So yeah, it's worldwide.
Well, I'm surprised you're not thinking about Thanksgiving or anything.
What was that?
When me and Nick talk politics, we transgress the world.
Yes. And we piss
Well,
a lot
that's
of
all
people off
politics,
and somehow
I think
easily make the NRA enemies list.
And what's funny is they didn't leave comments on that video. Sorry, people. They didn't leave comments on that video, but I got at least 4 PMs telling me I don't understand why Americans should have guns and I should fuck off and die. Okay, thanks.
Because America.
Fuck
Look
yeah.
at
We're full of a bunch of violent xenophobes who.
America is John Cena, aka Hulk Hogan 2.0.
But no, seriously, people, it's going to be a series.
Guns.
It's going to be me and
Big
Nick talk about.
Because,
Well,
tick bars.
I'm not going to lie, Nick. It's going to be you and me talk about American politics because it's far more interesting.
Kids on the lawn with nappies, and cooking outdoors. That's why I want to live in America. Because I want to have guns.
Because I'm an
Okay,
American.
let me rein in this conversation because
Please.
we're clearly getting ahead of ourselves. So if you like this podcast and you like professional wrestling, you should go out and find, because I guarantee you, no matter where you're living and there's civilization on planet Earth.
Bristol Hippodrome this weekend, by the way. Sorry, Bristol Hippodrome this weekend. Amateur wrestling. It's £15 and it's 4 hours long. So fucking go and do that.
Exactly.
There's a really good kebab shop next door, so you can buy kebab and do what I do, which is sneak it in under your jacket.
And the WWE's currently touring as well. They're over at the O2. A friend of mine's actually gone. A member of the Wrestling Revolution forum, Mr. Jacob Weatherhill, has actually gone to watch the Raw and SmackDown. And WrestleMania tickets are currently on sale for those folks who want to purchase
if you were the lucky ones. If you were
Yeah.
One of the lucky ones.
Top of that, apparently they had Bailey versus Sasha Banks over there across the pond. So for those that got to see that live, you lucky fucking bastards.
Excuse me while I just wipe the drool off my face.
Oh, I mean, we saw it here twice, so we're sharing with our British cousins.
Yeah,
So, like I said,
she's coming home.
Like I said, so if you like this podcast, you obviously like wrestling. You should support wrestling in its grassroots infancy. Support your local independent wrestling scene, like Dave said, at the Bristol Hippodrome this weekend. I guarantee you, no matter where you are, there is somebody out there trying to live their dreams. Shout outs to all my friends at the Ace American Championship Entertainment. They got Crossroads 11 this weekend. Tommy Dreamer is going to be there. Huge, many stars are going to be there. It's going to be an awesome show. I can't help put that over enough. AceWrestling.com, put them over enough. Yeah, man. So that's been the show. Our special Seth Rollins injury edition. Say goodbye. It's so hard to say goodbye to Seth Rollins' WWE title reign. Like I said,
I think we should call this our deja vu edition.
Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened.
Seems like yesterday.
And for Mr. Michael Burhan, for the Bristol Brawler Dave Wade, for my acting executive producer, Mr. Nick Horacek, I am Brendan Liggan, saying go forth and spread beauty and light. Peace, love, and humptiness to all. Let's play my theme song and hit the road, Jack.